Okay, let's continue. Number 13, conditional proposition. If a shape has four equal sides, then it is a rhombus. Write the converse, inverse, and contrapositive. The converse. If a shape is a rhombus, then it has four equal sides. Inverse. If a shape does not have four equal sides, then it is not a rhombus. Contrapositive. If a shape is not a rhombus, then it does not have four equal sides. Number 14. Our conditional proposition. If a book is a dictionary, then it contains definition. The converse of that is, if a book contains definitions, then it is a dictionary. The inverse of that conditional proposition, if a book is not a dictionary, then it does not contain definitions. And then the contrapositive. If a book does not contain definitions, then it is not a dictionary. Number 15. Conditional. If the traffic light is red, then the vehicles must stop. Our converse. If vehicles must stop, then the traffic light is red. The inverse. If the traffic light is not red, then vehicles must not stop. The contrapositive. If vehicles must not stop, then the traffic light is not red. Number 16. Conditional. If water reaches 100 degrees centigrade, then it boils. The converse. If water boils, then it reaches 100 degrees centigrade. Inverse. If water does not reach 100 degrees centigrade, then it does not boil. Contrapositive. If water does not boil, then it did not reach 100 degrees centigrade. Number 17, the conditional. If a country is Japan, then it is in Asia. The converse will be, if a country is in Asia, then it is Japan. The inverse. If a country is not Japan, then it is not in Asia. Contrapositive. If a country is not in Asia, then it is not Japan. Number 18. Conditional. If a student is late, then the student will miss the quiz. The converse. If a student misses the quiz, then the student is late. The inverse. If a student is not late, then the student will not miss the quiz. Contrapositive. If a student does not miss the quiz, then the student is not late. Number 19. Conditional. If a number is prime, then it has only two factors. So converse. If a number has only two factors, then it is prime. Inverse. If a number is not prime, then it does not have only two factors. The contraceptive then is if a number does not have only two factors, then it is not prime. Number 20. Conditional. If a person is a teacher, then the person works in a school. The converse, if a person works in a school, then the person is a teacher. Inverse, if a person is not a teacher, then the person does not work in school. Contrapositive, if a person does not work in school, then the person is not a teacher. Let's proceed to our MCQ for our lesson Roman numeral number 18, understanding conditional propositions and their applications. So the one that is presented is not the one that is correct. And I'm sorry for that. Number 1. Which of the following is the converse of if it rains, then the ground will be wet? Letter A. If the ground is not wet, then it did not rain. If the ground is wet, then it rained. Letter C. If it does not rain, then the ground will not be wet. Letter D. If it rains, then the ground will be wet. Number 2. The inverse of if a figure is a square, then it is a triangle is letter A. If a figure is not a square, then it is not a rectangle. Letter B. If a figure is not a rectangle, then it is not a square. Letter C. If a figure is rectangle, then it is a square. Letter D. If a figure is a square, then it is a rectangle. MCQ number 3. Which statement is contrapositive of if today is Sunday, then tomorrow is Monday? Letter A. If tomorrow is not Monday, then today is not Sunday. Letter B. If today is not Sunday, then tomorrow is not Monday. Letter C. If tomorrow is Monday, then today is Sunday. Letter D. If today is Sunday, then tomorrow is Monday. Number 4. The converse of if a number is divisible by 4, then it is divisible by 2 is letter A. If a number is not divisible by 4, then it is not divisible by 2. Letter B. If a number is divisible by 2, then it is divisible by 4. Letter C. If a number is not divisible by 2, then it is not divisible by 4. Letter D. If a number is divisible by 4, then it is divisible by 2. Number 5. Which form correctly shows the inverse of If a person studies hard, then the person will pass the exam. Letter A. If a person does not study hard, then the person will not pass the exam. Letter B. If a person does not pass the exam, then the person did not study hard. Letter C. If a person passes the exam, then the person studied hard. Letter D. If a person studies hard, then the person will pass the exam. Number 6. The contrapositive of if a person lives in Manila, then the person lives in the Philippines is letter A. If a person does not live in Manila, then the person does not live in the Philippines. Letter B. If a person lives in the Philippines, then the person lives in Manila. Letter C. If a person does not live in the Philippines, then the person does not live in Manila. Letter D. If a person lives in Manila, then the person lives in the Philippines. Number 7. Which is the converse of if a polygon has 3 sides, then it is a triangle. Letter A. If a polygon does not have 3 sides, then it is not a triangle. Letter B. If a polygon is not a triangle, then it does not have 3 sides. Letter C. If a polygon is a triangle, then it has 3 sides. Letter D. If a polygon has 3 sides, then it is a triangle. Number 8. The inverse of if a plant does not get sunlight, then it will not grow well is letter A. If a plant grows well, then it got sunlight. Letter B. If a plant gets sunlight, then it will grow well. Letter C. If a plant does not grow well, then it did not get sunlight. Letter D. If a plant does not get sunlight, then it will not grow well. Number 9. Which of the following is the contrapositive of if an animal is a dog, then it is a mammal? Letter A. If an animal is not a dog, then it is not a mammal. Letter B. If an animal is not a mammal, then it is not a dog. Letter C. If an animal is a mammal, then it is a dog. Letter D. If an animal is a dog, then it is a mammal. Number 10. The converse of if a student gets 90% in the exam, then the student will get an A grade is A. If a student does not get 90%, then the student will not get an A grade. If a student gets an A grade, then the student got 90% in the exam. Letter C. If a student does not get a grade, then the student will not get 90% in the exam. And letter D, if a student gets 90%, then the student will get an A grade.